there, everybody. This is a video on phase issues, mostly on the acoustic guitar and how to correct them. You can do it manually, but I'm going to show you all how to use a plugin today. So I'm also kind of making this video because it's just really neat and I want some of my friends to see it. So basically, if you look at what I have here is I have a recorded acoustic guitar. It's one take. This take right here is the mic, and this take right here is the DI. I generally like to use two mics, but I don't have that option. So DI and mic it is. I'm using a AKG shotgun mic. That's a P170. So basically, when you play this back, because of phase issues, you're going to hear it's going to be kind of hollow. Normally, what you want on the waveforms, you want it to kind of look, you want these to be kind of lined up together like so. And you can manually adjust everything. You can, make everything fit, but it doesn't always fix phase issues either. It just fixes time issues. So when I play this guitar back, right now it's panned right down the center. This is what it sounds like. Alright, so it doesn't sound the worst, probably because my mic wasn't that far away from the guitar when I recorded this. I do want to kind of add in like a little side note that I did a little test on this before. The fixed phase issue, it does sound different. It doesn't sound the best though, because I just didn't really spend a lot of time setting up the mic. But basically what happens, you'll notice this is more noticeable if I pan it. So if I pan these two signals right now, it's a little hollow to me. This is going to sound better in headphones, by the way. And by itself, it doesn't sound horrible, but the problem with this, with phase issues in general, is it makes it a lot harder to fit a phase, incorrect phase recording into the mix. It's also harder to EQ that kind of stuff. That's why with drums, if the phase isn't fixed, the drums won't sound punchy, and you're going to spend a lot more time trying to make them sound punchy when you could have just done that with a quick phase fix. So basically, what's going to happen is I'm going to instantiate this little plugin here called MautoAlign. It's really cool. It's very simple. I'm going to load up a preset right now, which is guitar, and this isn't a preset that affects the actual plugin itself. It's just a preset to the group preset. So I could have picked A through Z if I wanted to, but the company that made this plugin just wrote down a few basic presets. And what that means is now when I copy and paste this plugin to the track above it, to the mic track, it's going to still be in the same group. And what that means is basically, if I had a drum group, if I had an acoustic guitar group, and an electric guitar group, I could assign them their own groups, and what's going to happen is the plugins are going to work with each other. So these two plugins now are working simultaneously within each other. The last step I have to do to kind of make this fix easily is I picked the track that has the DI signal. This is just my preference because it's a cleaner signal. And I select this as the main track. So basically, this track up here is going to listen to this track right here, and it's going to like align itself up and maybe inverse the phase if it calls for it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and you'll hear the before and after, but I'm going to stop it and I'm just going to play it and bypass it instead of it analyzing. So watch this. It's still going to analyze, but I'm not going to bore you guys with that. Oh, by the way, also, before I do that, when you see the actual plugin right here, you're going to see where there's some dips in this red line, and that's kind of the bad, the bad spots. That's what it tells you visually. This is where your problems are at. It's just a quick visual representation, so you don't have to like know all about whatever goes on behind this thing. You can see the dip right here. So now what's going to happen, I'm going to analyze it. Alright, so it's analyzed. And now when I play it back, I'm going to bypass it. I'm bypassing all of them, so I'm bypassing all the plugins that are assigned to this group. When I play it, it's going to be played bypassed first, and then halfway through I'm going to unbypass it. And watch the red line too when I unbypass it. As you can tell, it gave the acoustic guitar a little bit more bite, a little bit more of a kind of a growl. If you listen to it, if you listen to what frequency range that affected, it's got a very growly presence to it. And that's what I like. Let me play it again real quick. This bypassed. See, so what I like about this is it kind of just tightens everything up and makes it into this one big ball rather than two separate balls with you down the middle, if that makes any sense. But what I even like more about this is when I pan it, you're going to notice the difference a lot more when it's bypassed, when the plugin's not active. Sorry about that. So check this out when it's bypassed. And this is panned, it's bypassed, I'll unbypass it halfway through. Hear that hollowness. Now, of course, if I pan this too far, I'm still going to get that stereo spread where I lose a little bit of that middle. But what this phase correction allows me to do is it makes sure that the audio is where it has to be to sound the best that it can sound. Granted, my mic should have been set up better. Granted, my recording technique should have been better. But under near perfect conditions, if you have phase issues, this makes it so it corrects everything. But again, like in this case, if I pan everything 100 and 100, you're going to hear that hollowness. You're going to hear it even more when it's bypassed. So I still have to be careful with my panning. I don't want to pan this acoustic guitar all the way to the left. So if I, and I can, the pan can be relative. If it's at 32 and 35, I can pan it so it's at like 60 and 0 or whatever. If I keep it kind of in that range, I think it sounds pretty fine compared to the plugin not being active. So here it is bypassed again. So it definitely brings everything closer. A lot of times with these back and forth references, you kind of trick yourself because sometimes you're like, oh, I like it the other way better, I like it this way better. But when you listen to these examples more and more, you start to realize that this version is a lot better. It'll sit better in the mix. So yeah, really cool shit.